Like many of you, we've battled depression during life's ups and downs.
Music has always been the one thing that we could rely on to get us through the tough times that we all face.
Follow us on our journey as we discuss the healing power of music,
Interview bands,
break down genres,
review band biographies,
and more.
This is the When Words Fail
Music Speaks podcast
with Blake Mosley
and James Cox. Hey everybody, welcome back to When Words Fail Music Speaks podcast, where we've had depression with the power of music. And I have awesome episode for y'all today. We are doing the spooky Halloween episode for today. But BMO Emo is his name, and Blake Brosley is not here today. But we do have a long time listener, first time guest, I believe. And her name is Cammy. And I met her through one of my friends, Cody, that worked at GameStop. How are you doing, Cammy?
I am fantastic. How are you?
Good. It's so funny because Cody was texting me the other day, and Cammy would really kind of like come on your show and talk about what she does and do like a Halloween special. And I'm like, yes, do it.
Yeah, for sure. Cody's awesome.
Yeah, because you and him worked at GameStop, but not at the exact GameStop, right? Together.
Right. Yeah, not the same one.
I guess you and him had different stores or something.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, nice. So this is the Halloween episode, and first of all, my first question to you is, do you remember your first Halloween, and what did you dress up as?
I mean, obviously, like the first one. No, I do. There are pictures of me though. I don't know if they dressed me or even dressed me up like the first time.
Right.
Of like me as a little kid in a clown costume, and I do remember that costume. I don't really remember wearing it, but my dad would dress up as a clown every single year and take us trick-or-treating. So I actually got that costume recently for my mother and wore it at my nephew's costume party like last week or whatever. So just carrying the torch.
Yeah, because I don't remember my first Halloween, but I remember being dressed up as a lion and a ninja. And I'm not sure what Halloweens were those, so it's all come together.
I think I was a pirate for like 10 years or something. For like most of my childhood.
It's a good choice, just as long as did you remember any other costumes? Growing.
Yeah, my granddad made me a dog costume. I wanted to be a dog one year. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, as an adult, I remember some of the costumes. Like, I dressed up as Link one year, from The Legend of Zelda, and then also, I don't know if you've ever seen Absolutely Fabulous, but I've dressed up as both Patsy and Eddie from that.
Is that the I remember? Well, I don't think that comes from. Is that like a United States kind of thing?
No, it's a British comedy.
Oh,
yeah, it's BBC.
Yeah, because I remember one girl who had the blonde hair. Always wore
Yeah. So that's Patsy. Yeah, just
okay.
Patsy.
That's a wild show. I never really got British comedy. I think it's too very dry for me. Again, they love dry humor over there. So
yeah,
judge, well. So this episode is based on Halloween, y'all, and we're gonna talk about two of our favorites, I guess. I just watched one of them the other day, and I rewatched one the other day too. So I'm practically in the know. But Miss Cammy here wanted to talk about some things of the Wicker Man, not the Nicolas Cage one, which I've never seen before. So I've heard it was terrible.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen it either, but I have heard so many bad things, and apparently it's incredibly sexist.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, like I don't know, because they're in the original Wicker Man, it's the society is kind of set up pretty evenly, but in this one, it's like the women rule everything, and then they're like trying to kill men. I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah, because I watched the 1975 version, right? Five.
76, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I watched it and I thought it was fantastic because I really want to watch the Nicolas Cage version, but I don't want to tarnish the
Right.
my version. So it's like, oh,
Just
well, I
think of
do.
it as like a different movie. There is a movie that is more recent, 2011. It called The Wicker Tree, and it's like a spiritual sequel, and it's by the same people basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So you may want to check that one out.
Right. So I watched the Wicker Man 75 version and I watched Scream 1, which you can decide whether you want to watch Scream 1 or Scream 3 because I think you said Scream 3 was the better one that you liked.
Okay, so Scream One is fantastic.
Yeah,
It turns the genre on its
yeah,
head. Like you can't ever touch that one. But and Scream 2 was really good too. I mean, it has Buffy Summers in it, you
yeah.
know. Sarah Michelle Gellar,
Right,
for
yeah.
those who aren't in the know.
And I think it's got Jada Pinkett Smith in it too, right?
Yeah, at the
Right?
beginning,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Um,
I watched part of Scream 2, but I'm like, I can't get into this. Scream 1 was, I mean, by far the best one, I thought, but I can't remember Scream 3. So if you can recap Scream 3 for me and everybody else.
sure. So with Scream 3, probably like my favorite part about it is it actually, so Scream 1 turns, like I said, turns the slasher genre on its head, a very dying genre at that point in the mid 90s. It wasn't something people were watching. It was kind of like passe almost. But they took that and they took all the tropes from it and added them to this movie and then talked about them in that way, right? So that's Scream 1, where you've got every single trope and they're following like a set of rules, basically, like the two killers are, and they're doing it on purpose.
Right.
And then you have, Scream 2, which kind of follows that, is the continuation of that. Scream 3 actually takes that, like the rules and everything, and turns it on its head because you're in a very meta situation. Stab they're filming one of the Stab movies, which is a movie in Scream
Right.
based on the Woodsboro killings. And so they're filming that movie, and you have two Gail Weathers, you have two of every character. And so basically these characters, they're these Hollywood actors, they're mixing with the people from Woodsboro. So it's very meta. It breaks the fourth wall a lot. I don't know. I just really like it.
Well, I think the reason why the Scream came out is like, okay, so people have had enough with Jason movies, Freddy movies, Michael Myers. I'm so glad Michael Myers is over with. So glad because I'm like, how many times is he gonna die? Right?
Right.
You never know. Well, yeah. So, and I thought that the makers like, okay, we need a new one, more up to date one, and I guess that's where Scream 1, 2, and 3 were born. Correct?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like I said, that genre wasn't really something people thought about anymore. And then you had this entire um class of movies that really looked at themselves in a comedic way. So it's a comedy horror. You have the obvious comedy horror, like I can't remember what it's called, but it's based on the Scream movies,
Right.
Scary Movie. So you
Yeah.
have like the Scary Movie, like the obvious horror that's comedy, but then you also have things like I Know What You Did Last Summer and stuff like that just have like funny parts, but the movie itself isn't funny. I mean, The Faculty came out around the same time.
That,
There's a lot of those type of movies.
yeah, The Faculty was a good movie. I love the scary movies 1, 2, and 3. Got a little stupid between 4 and 5. I'm
Yeah,
like,
they
this is
they
kind
they
of
kind of went too far with them, but they
well,
are pretty funny to
I
watch
think
for sure.
the last movie was Scary Movie 5, and that was the Charlie Sheen at the very beginning, right? If I
I don't
remember correctly.
I don't know if I watched the fifth one
Okay.
honestly, because I
Oh,
think the
okay.
fourth one was so just
Stupid.
dumb.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you wanted to talk about Willow Song that was in Wicker Man, and yeah, so let's talk about that for a minute. My
Yes. Go
okay,
ahead.
okay, so the way I perceive it is obviously in Wicker Man. which is a strange story in itself because I mean, no one knows what that what that movie's about. Still to say,
I
and
mean, like it's just it's folk horror, so it's just like this old civilization that that is surviving in modern day, and they've kind of brought this sacrifice to them to help their crops grow. I mean, it's really like kind of the basic plot of the movie. For anybody that hasn't seen it, this I mean, I'm not spoiling anything by saying any
oh,
of those words. Um, but yeah, so in the movie though, they try to get, because it's so wild, there's so many crazy things that happen, right? Like when you're watching it, it's like, why is this like all of a
'cause
sudden just
I was like, this is the weirdest, most strange, awesome movie I've ever seen in my life, and I've never seen it until now.
yeah, I literally have never seen anything like it. So there's this part where the basically like a constable, it's like a police officer comes to this island, and he's a very devout, pious man. He's a virgin, which is important later, and he's a Christian, and he stands by that, and that's like, this is what I am.
Right.
And Willow's song starts out with the character Willow, which is one of the main characters in the movie, trying to sleep with him. So it's like the middle of the night. It's the first night he got there, right?
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, because he was only there for like 2 days or so, right? Yeah.
Right. He doesn't even know this lady.
Yeah.
She's like banging on the wall, like trying to get him to come into her
I
room.
mean yeah, I mean, she looks good. I mean, a
She
beautiful
was a good looking
woman.
lady, but I mean, you've
Yeah, but
only known
I
her
mean
2 days.
okay, so the he goes into a bar first, and then the
Right.
details about her sleeping around with all these, all these young men, and I'm like, okay, well, that's not a, so I don't think he picked up on that, whether she was a,
Yeah,
lady
well,
in black kind of thing.
everybody on the island is kind of like, it's not a, there's no real rules about sexuality on that island
Right,
from what I can see. Like it's
yeah,
just everybody's just kind of free with it.
right.
So her doing that wasn't really out of the norm for them. It would be out of the norm for like our society probably, or especially like 1970s Britain.
Right. But the strangest thing, cause do you remember the scene where the policeman looked out the window and another guy outside talking to Willow. It's like, here you go. Here's a new guy for you to sleep with today, and he might be the sacrifice tomorrow, or so. Yeah,
Right.
I was weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on there?
What is happening?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah. So, but
But the interesting thing about that is, if he had slept with
Willow,
Willow,
right?
they wouldn't have been able to sacrifice him because he wouldn't have been a virgin.
Oh yeah, that is right. It kind
So
of goes along to like the horror movies.
yeah,
I mean, cause rule number one in scary movie, what Scream
in
was,
Scream, yeah.
if you're not a virgin, you can't win battle or something. One of those.
Right, you're gonna die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to die if you're not a virgin. So don't, yeah, yeah. So, and I thought
So
that,
it's, yeah, it's almost the opposite on this. Like it's, so he's a virgin, so he has to die. I don't know. It's like weird.
mm, yeah, cause I found the Willow song very, very sensual and sexy and like sorrowful at times. I'm not sure what the whole dilemma was there. So Can you tell us more about the song, Willow song?
Yeah, sure. Did you want, are you gonna play a sample or probably not?
I want to edit this and then play. Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. So basically, like I was introduced to this song through the Sneaker Pimps, and my fiance and I were watching the movie Wicker Man, and Willow's song comes on, and I'm like, wait a second, like this is where this song is from? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, this song, it's like crazy famous. Like I've heard it so many times. And she was like, I've never heard this song before. It's not. And it was because I was a big Sneaker Pimps fan when, the early 2000s, late 90s, and because it was on it was called How Do, and then in parentheses Willow Song, and it was on the album for Becoming X. And so in Becoming X, it's less sensual, because she talks about things like milking a bull and stuff like that, which in that one they don't talk about it. So it basically kind of ends, and it is more like sorrowful in that version as well.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the lyrics of Willow Song, and it says, "Comb you smooth and stroke your head, how a maid can milk a bull,
Yep.
and every stroke is a bucket full." That's kind of
Yeah, so that part
yeah,
is
that's kind of
not in the
weird.
sneaker post
No,
version.
right? Yeah, that's kind of weird. But it works. I mean, it works for the movie. I mean, because when you think of Halloween, you think of like how spooky and everything. But I guess it's the mind can do other things to your inner being, and it doesn't have to be all like gory and things like you know what I'm saying?
It's very psychological.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's
that's the word.
almost like it feels safe
Right,
at first. It feels normal at first. Like he's just coming to this island, he's investigating the case of a missing girl. Very normal, very on the surface. It feels like a British procedural. Like I don't know. I'm trying to think of like Marple or something, Miss
yeah,
Marple or whatever. It doesn't feel like, or like an Agatha Christie novel. It doesn't feel like a scary movie. But then the more you get into it, the deeper you get into it, you realize it's more like a midsummer type of situation.
right.
I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
I have not. No.
Yeah, that one creeps up on you too. It's actually very influenced by the Wicker Man. Have you
Right.
seen Hot Fuzz?
Long time ago, yes, I have.
Okay, yeah, so that movie is based on it too. You see
Okay.
how it's almost the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
story
yeah.
where
Because
this outsider comes into a town and yeah.
right, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen Hot Fuzz in years. That's a good movie. I need to watch it. Yeah. Um, but at the end, there no spoilers because I mean, the movie's like ancient, and I don't know why people have not seen it yet. But I haven't seen it until recently. But I knew what they were going to do to him when they introduced the big Wicker Man.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, right away, I'm like, that's beyond anything that Jason or Michael Myers or anybody can do in a movie.
It's so
That,
much more insidious because
yeah,
Jason
right.
and Michael Myers are killers and they're killers and like this is what they do.
You know what they do,
Right. They don't have to do this. They
No,
only do this because they believe it's going to work, and they only believe it's going to work because one man
like the
has kept
Lord.
them in these like pagan ideas.
The lordship, I guess he was called Lord something, right? Um, yeah, correctly played by Christopher, um, the guy that played Count Dooku on Star Wars. I forgot what his name is. Christopher.
Yeah, he was in Lord of the Rings as well.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Hang on, I got it right here. Hang on, Wicker Man. Oh, wait, okay. Here, here. Christopher Lee
That's
played
right.
Lord Summersale.
Yeah.
Summersle. I don't know. But
Summersell,
oh,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but he was kind of weird too, because yeah, and the whole movie's just weird. So, but Willow Song you said was on the Sneaker Pimps album,
Yeah, Becoming X. And
right?
it like I said on that one, it's attributed, it's How Do.
Right.
One thing they turned it into like are you familiar with the Sneaker Pimps?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool, cool. So they turned it into like a techno song,
Right. Yeah, which is
which is
awesome.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard that version, like you should definitely listen to it. It's really good. Um Also like that whole movie is a musical. If you've noticed, like
Yeah.
they kept breaking into song.
I really like the song that they were singing about the tree or something. When the guy goes to the school and
Oh, and they're like
the tree.
going around the
I,
tree.
I
Yeah.
love that song. That song's great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I could tell it was a musical slash like a horror kind of vibe.
Right, right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So, uh,
kind of the opposite of Scream in that
Yes,
way.
yes, because you knew what Scream was about. This time you're like, what the, oh no, they're doing that. Yeah, and it's like you never know what the next step was going to do,
Right.
which is terrifying to me because if you don't expect what, because I'm more like okay, that was predictable. That's got to be the killer. You never knew what they were going to do at the end of the movie on Wicker Man.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true. There was one part though I was like, "Oh, he's in danger." I can't remember, it was about halfway through the movie. It was something somebody said and I was just like, "He needs to leave
right,
like right now."
yeah, yeah. So with all great horror icons though, is Ghostface your favorite serial
Yeah,
or
as
something?
far as like slashers go yeah, definitely Ghostface because it's a different person each time,
Right.
which
Oh,
I really enjoy.
yeah,
Yeah, and then I mean in most of the movies there's two killers.
right. And in Scream One there was two killers too, which
Yeah,
you
I
thought
think
it was.
all of them except for I'm trying to remember because I did watch the last one in theaters and I can't remember if there were two in that one, but I know that there was only one in Scream 3. Did you know that Sydney Prescott has not the highest body count in Scream, but almost the highest body count? She's killed most of the iterations of Ghostface.
You mean yeah, now this is the uh
Killer, like she's killed more people than some of the Ghostface killers have killed.
because okay, so if there's my count, she killed two in the first movie, the
Right.
Ghostface killers. That's I mean because I
Yeah, I mean we can go through it if you want. I don't remember exactly like who killed who.
yeah
Technically in the third one she didn't technically she was it was more like an assist because she severely wounded the Ghostface,
yeah
and then Dewey was the one that actually shot the killer in that one. um in two, I'm pretty sure, well it was kind of like a hail of bullets, but I'm pretty sure she's the one that killed Laurie Met well she was the one that killed Laurie Metcalf, but I'm
right
pretty sure she killed the guy as well. So that would make four just in the first two movies,
right
and then an assist in the third.
because I know that the two in part one killed four.
The killer,
Yeah, because he
yeah,
had
but they was split up, so each one killed
okay.
three, I
Oh,
think.
okay.
After the second movie, she had killed more people than either Ghostface.
Right. Okay. Well, that's kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, that's what you.
She's way more dangerous than these. No wonder she's the last girl.
She hits Ghostface really. Yeah, but what was I gonna say? I was gonna say that it's very rare that you have like a the main character kill off so many people because when you look at Leatherface, Jason, and Michael, they're like no one can go above their kill count.
Right, because it's just one person and they're not dead. But well, I guess with Michael Myers, there were like three different killers in that, but none of them are really dead, right?
Technically, no, but I mean, they had to die one time and then they had to come back. So yeah, I get. Jason was
Because
drowned. Or
wasn't the mom the killer in the first one?
the bomb was a murder
Okay.
in the first one, and then Jason took over with all like 118 kills after that. He went on the rampage.
I think I'm conflating Halloween and Friday the 13th, but Friday the 13th, so Halloween, the third movie, wasn't about Michael Myers, I don't think at all.
No, I haven't seen it, but I've heard that it does not include Michael at all.
You know, most of the stuff I've learned from watching Scream.
It's through word of mouth.
What is it?
Is it through word of mouth?
No, just
By
through
accident.
through
Oh,
watching the movie. Yeah, they'll be like, the what was the only movie that blah blah blah, like, go, Ghostface will
right,
like ask a bunch of questions.
right. There actually is like a TV show now on Scream, and there was a reboot in 2021, maybe. I haven't seen that one yet.
The Scream reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Have you seen that one?
introduced some new characters, but there's going to be a new one that doesn't have Sydney in it. So don't think I'm gonna watch it. There was like a pay discrepancy where they didn't want to pay her like basically what she's worth. So she's
Right.
not gonna be in it. So I don't think I'm gonna watch that one. At least I'm not gonna watch it in the theater like I normally do with the Scream movies.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's an MTV TV show on Screen, but I haven't seen that one yet. Because when I was looking at over at going to rewatch Scream One, I looked on Netflix and nope, there's MTV Scream. So yeah.
Yeah, I watched like I want to say I don't know if there were more seasons, but I got it confused with Scream Queens, but I watched both of them
Okay. Yeah.
for a little while. I watched further into Scream Queens though. I think I may have watched like 3 seasons, at least 2 seasons of that. But Scream, yeah, I don't even think I finished that season. It was hard to get into the characters because none of the people, it's not canon, I don't think, and none of
Right.
the people were anybody that you knew from Scream.
Right. Right. So, could you tell? Because I forgot. What was the theme? What was the theme song of Scream? Because I know it wasn't like a because you have all these classic themes like you instantly know Michael's theme, Jason's theme, Freddy's theme,
Right, exactly.
Leprechaun's
So
theme. So yeah.
yeah, with that, it's gonna be Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Red Right Hand.
Yeah.
And that song is just I don't know, it's incredible. The build up when you're just like hearing like just when they start with the like the beat and stuff, and then his voice is gravelly like Nick Cave voice. But the first time I encountered that song was on a album. I was obsessed with the X-Files, and so I bought and I remember it was like you had a parental permission to buy it. So I had to buy it at Kmart because I didn't think my parents would give me permission.
Right.
And Walmart would check your ID. So I had to buy it at Kmart, which doesn't even exist anymore. But yeah, and then Walmart had they didn't even sell the real version. It was like a non-explicit version, so I didn't
Oh
want
yeah.
that one.
Yeah, Walmart always did that because every time I was going to buy a CD, they're like explicit lyrics like cut off for like Walmart brands only.
Right.
I don't want that. I want
It's
it.
so weird. Like, why do I want them to like sub lyrics?
Oh,
It's stupid.
yeah.
But yeah, so I ended up buying that, and that was one of the songs. Nick Cave also does the X-Files theme on that, which is really good. He does it with Mark Snow.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so Red Right Hand, I was just like instantly in love with that. It's very like shadowy, the song itself, like the lyrics, it's very shadowy, it's very like underground. There's something insidious happening, you don't know what's going on, but there's just something not right. And with the X-Files, it's obviously like some government conspiracy, but with Scream it's just like some like there's just a killer on the loose.
Right. Well, see, I found well, okay, so I think the first time I heard of Red Right Hand was on a Jackass movie. I could be
Oh
wrong.
really?
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I really loved the first one and the second one. I think that was one of the. Yeah, but that song is so freaky. Just like you said, it's more like a psychological thing. I find
Yeah.
that Scream is a psychological thing because something happens in that movie, but it's like but no one is dead yet, and like when you hear somebody bust in the room, it's like okay, is that the killer? No, it's not. So it really messes with your mind, and I think that song fits it perfectly. So
Yeah, that
yeah,
is true. Yeah, it's pretty perfect. And I'm pretty sure the lyrics change depending on what he uses it for.
right,
Because I remember the lyrics being a little bit different in the X-Files one, but maybe it's just because I had the full version of it.
Right.
And in the Scream movies, you don't hear the full version.
Or maybe they asked him to like rewrite the song for the actual Scream movie. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. So, yeah.
Did you know that that Willow's song was actually featured in the Hostel movie, the first Hostel movie?
I've seen that one, but I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I
just
thought.
going back to the other the other
Yeah.
movie.
Well, both songs are equally freaky, and they're both psychological, and I think that's the most horrifying thing that anybody could make. You know, because when somebody messes with your head instead of seeing it live on TV or something, I mean that's like the most terrifying thing that I.
Yeah, because like a killer coming at you, you feel like you have some kind of recourse. Like you can, there's always like some action you take, whether it's run away or stand and fight them or grab a candlestick or whatever. Like you
And
feel like there's something you can probably do. But yeah,
right,
when it's psychological, there's not a whole lot you can do other than outsmart the killer. It's sort of like Hannibal. That's why Hannibal's so scary because you can't outsmart
yeah,
it.
right. And we want to you alive and no, because it's funny because I don't know if you've seen the thing on Jeffrey Dahmer yet, on Netflix.
I haven't, no.
That'll mess with your mind, so you might want to.
He was, I don't know if I can watch it, to be honest. Like I really enjoyed like the Ted Bundy ones that they had up and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and the Richard Ramirez one. I almost said Richard Chase. That's a different killer.
Okay.
um but the Jeffrey Dahmer one, he was so vile and disgusting. Not that the other people weren't, but
Right.
he was just so overly disgusting. Like he would drill holes in people's head and do stuff to people's
Yeah.
brains, like literally do stuff to people's brains. It's just like creepy.
Yeah. Well, he did that just so that they could stay with him, because he thought if I knock him out and drill the hole in the head and put something in it, they could stay with me forever. That's what he wanted. He just wanted company. That's all.
Yeah, it's so weird.
So he
Like
was
that's not how you
real.
get company, buddy.
No, no, it's not. But he was a real Hannibal Lecter because I think, well, didn't Hannibal Lecter come out way before this? He actually did his crimes, or was it like after?
I well the books have been around since the 70s. I don't know
Okay,
when he grosses me out so bad. I really don't know that much about him.
yeah, because he was
Um
jail. He was put in jail in 1991 or two, I think, maybe
so
90s.
the movie came out in 91.
Okay, oh,
So he would have already been doing his murders by the time the movie came out, but the books were much earlier than that.
okay, yeah. So I don't know if they got inspiration from him to make Hannibal Lecter or I don't know. I don't know. It's
They
hard.
definitely did use like Ed Gein
But the face,
for the first one, for Silence of the Lambs, because he actually would use people's skin to make things, like in Silence of the Lambs how Jamie Gum does that,
right?
like to make his suit or whatever. So Ed Gein was doing that kind of stuff. I don't know what he made. I heard there was like a nipple belt or something. I don't know if that's true.
I
um
I heard that again was largely based on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface.
yeah, so Leatherface
Burn your
was
mouth.
based on that. Yep,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely
yeah, but
was
I didn't
based
know
on
he
that.
was. Yeah, but I had no idea he was based on a Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs also. So
Yeah, the well, yeah, Silence of the Lambs was based on that, and then there was like a couple of other people too that they drew from for this killer, and for Hannibal and for James Gum in
right,
that.
right,
um but I can't remember now who it was. I do know Ed Gein was like the big one though.
yeah, yeah. It's all psychological, and that happens more now than ever before because a lot of people are, suffering with depression and anxiety,
Sure.
and this podcast is built around that, because we want to help improve people's lives, and music is one thing to do that, and I find that very relaxing to me, and it might be relaxing to you or your friends or whatever. But uh, please listen to Red Right Hand and Willow's song, because I think those are two of the uh most prolific songs you can have in any movies right now. So
Yeah, they're in a lot of movies.
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't realize how many.
Uh,
I do want to say that my podcast Myth Story,
yes, yes,
that's
yes.
MythStorie. Um we actually did an in-depth dive on both slasher films and on Wicker Man specifically in like a folk horror way. So I wanted to shout that out if you're interested
Oh
in
yeah.
more.
And okay, so you do myths and history together, right?
Yeah, so each week we take a myth. It could be like Theseus or whatever. I mean, just
Right.
whatever it is. And then we tell you the myth and then the history behind it.
I wanted to ask you this question per se, because I heard for a
Yeah.
long time that Halloween was created by the church. Is that correct?
I don't know. She'd
Oh,
asked me, I would have looked it up. I think that so it's definitely an Irish thing. We did an episode on Samhain, which
right.
is a similar thing. So it's possible that it was created by the Catholic Church
Mhm.
to sort of combat that. I'm 100% not sure. But it's kind of like because you have November 1st is like the almost like a holy day, the Day of the Dead.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We're
So
already
it's possible,
right.
yeah, it's possible the church did have something to do with it.
Yeah, because I know, like some countries like Mexico, celebrate the Day of the Dead, and they'll come,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. But Samhain was like a pagan holiday, correct?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah, yeah, and yeah, and I guess supposedly the church stole that from their practice and
The
made
church is good at that. Good at
that they
stealing
are
things.
that they are, yes,
Well,
ma'am.
I mean, you have to think about it. Like, if so, in that regard, if you are trying to basically subjugate people, or if you're just trying to even like embrace people into your fold,
Right.
you're going to have to make some concessions. And so things like we have Easter, but those started out as pagan rites. So that's why we have the Easter bunny. I mean, that has nothing to do with Jesus or a resurrection. It has to do with fertility, and so Easter's based on pagan holidays that are fertility holidays.
Yeah.
So I'm
Weird.
sure Halloween is probably, I mean, if the church did co-opt it,
Yeah.
it's just part of that. I don't know.
I'm I'm sure they did. I'm sure. One more question before we let you go, and you can get
Yeah,
on with
absolutely.
your life. Scream one. What was the saddest kill that you remember seeing?
The saddest one,
The sad, like you're like, oh no, don't, oh
I
come on,
mean, Drew Barrymore. I didn't want to see her
Jeremy.
die.
Yeah,
I know it was
yeah.
like the very beginning, but like I didn't want to see that.
Mm.
I also think it was really sad that Sydney's boyfriend Billy. I was sad about that too
Yeah.
because I wanted him not to be the killer. And when they revealed Stu, I hope that everyone who's listening to this has seen Scream because
Oh
if
God.
not, like it's just spoilers. But when
What?
they revealed Stu, I was like, okay, yeah, he's a killer. But then it's like Billy, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, it's like,
that
mm,
sucks.
yeah,
I mean, I
the
wasn't sad he died though. I was
yeah,
just
well, yeah, because he deserved it. So,
right.
yeah, but the most sad kill that I witnessed in that movie was Mr. Hembry, I think was the school principal.
Oh yeah.
Like, why are you killing him?
Why?
He's
Yeah.
a little
What? It was
kid,
just
dude.
so like pointless.
Yeah, so I don't know
It
why
was
you
just to
threw that
kill
in.
somebody. I
Yeah,
don't think they even went back to that, like
no,
why they did it or whatever.
oh, um, so that was the most upsetting I thought. Of course, of course, Drew Barrymore and her boyfriend we knew nothing about. So
Yeah, I was more
I
sad
them.
because it's Drew Barrymore, and I thought she was gonna be in the movie longer the first time I saw
Everybody
it.
did. Yeah, everybody did. So, once again, can you tell us a little bit about your podcast and where can you find it and how many times do you all upload?
Yeah, sure. So we are actually going to take a short hiatus. Bryant is getting married. That's my host
Nice.
is getting married this weekend. So we're actually taking a short hiatus this weekend next week. But we'll be back in full force after that. But it's uploaded every Wednesday. It's anywhere you get podcasts or even on YouTube. I'll send you the link, James, if you
Yeah,
want to. We can link our stuff.
will do.
Um, but yeah, so basically it's MythStorie, MYTH, so myth, and then story, STOR, and it's IE instead of Y. And it's all one word. And like I said, you can pretty much find us anywhere.
Nice. One more question, and I swear I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah, no, you're good.
But we ask all of our guests this: is there any song or album that you can think of right now that you can listen to, but you can't tell me, Bryant, your partner, your mom, your dad, how it makes you feel deep inside?
Wait, what is it?
Is there any song that you can think about right now that you listen to, and you can't tell me, Bryant, your mom, your dad, your partner, how it makes you feel deep inside your soul?
Oh, okay. Um, let's see. I really
'Cause
like Bright Eyes, and I would say probably Hit the Switch
mm,
would be one that I think that's what it's called. Anyway, honestly, the way he titles stuff is so weird that it'll be like pulled from stuff, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Um but basically, yeah, that song, like, or just Bright Eyes in general, a lot of times. The Casadega album was really good, but it just puts you like in a place that you can tell he's dealing with like his own depression and his own feelings, and listening to that kind of helps you uh through like your emotional journey as well.
right. Well, I couldn't explain it better because that's your song. That's what you go to when you feel the most deepest or the most highest in your life, correct?
Right, yep.
Yeah. So you can listen to the song any time of the hour you want to, and you feel
Yeah,
good about it,
absolutely.
right? Yeah. Yeah, so, we do thank you for coming on the show. I hope. So before we got on here, for anybody that's listening, Tammy was sick for about a few days, and my co-host.
Yes, and then I got a flu shot on top of it, so it
Look,
was
you're all better now, right?
yes.
Okay, so my co-host Blake is out with something going on. I'm not sure if he caught it from you from many miles away.
I hope he didn't catch it from me.
Hopefully not. But his wife Allie has it now, so we're praying for him too. So we honestly do thank you for coming on, and I hope you come back on. Maybe with Bryant and maybe with Blake, we can have a whole show about.
I would absolutely love to do that. Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, cool, cool. So thank you for coming on, and to anybody that's listening, always remember when words fail, music speaks. Bye, guys. Nice. That was good.
Cool.
That was
I
really,
am
really good.
stopping this now. Do